Hi guys, it is Tiny Little Whispers ASMR, and today we have another true crime case for you guys. Just as a reminder, if you do not enjoy the soft-spoken version of this case, please check out my Patreon. There will be the whisper version available today there. I will have that linked down below as well. I needed a quick water break. I feel like I've not been staying super hydrated lately. But shout out to Target for this very minimal timed water bottle. I use this every day now and it works, and it was only $5. But I think we're good to go. Really the only things up top for this video are, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy this type of content, it would truly help me out if you could like, comment, or subscribe to this video. That will help others find this channel a bit easier when they are searching for ASMR content. So let's go ahead and dive into today's case. Now, the case that we're discussing today is an ongoing and active investigation. So there may be, some updates or something that comes out in the news before this video comes out. And if any major updates come out, I will definitely film a second video covering all of those updates and all of the stuff. But today we are going to be discussing the murder of Mariah Wilson, also known as Mo Wilson. Anna Mariah Wilson, like I said, was also known as Mo Wilson, and she was born on May the 18th in the year 1996. Mo grew up with her parents, Eric and Karen, and her younger brother, Matthew, in Kirby, Vermont, which is just outside of Burke, Vermont. Now, Burke, Vermont is just over 3 hours north of Boston, Massachusetts. Growing up, Mo often went mountain biking with her family and friends, and she was very successful in both skiing and in soccer. Eventually, Mo went to Dartmouth College, where she graduated in the year 2019 with a degree in engineering. After graduating, Mo told her mother, Karen, that she wanted to become a professional cyclist. Now, I would assume that a lot of parents would just, maybe not be so okay with this idea, but Karen wholeheartedly believed that Mo would be able to achieve her dreams and become a professional cyclist very easily. So Karen set Mo up with a coach. Mo did wonderful. She started preparing for various races and really was a hard worker. She practiced often, and she often beat even her coach and other fellow cyclists in the area. Eventually, Mo got into a relationship with her boyfriend, who was named Gunnar, and he lived out in San Francisco. and she began competing in various cycling races with Gunnar. I believe her and Gunnar bought a van and kind of basically just traveled around the country, participating in various events. By the year 2021, Mo, who was 25 years old at the time, was doing rather well, and she had even finished second at the Mid-South race. So even though she had not been cycling for super long, Mo was doing really great for her age. Eventually, Mo and her boyfriend Gunnar separated, and Mo decided that she was going to quit her job and move back to Vermont and work full-time on her cycling career. Around this time, Mo had met another cyclist named Kaitlin Strickland, and he was well known in the cycling community. Kaitlin was 35 years old at the time, and he was sponsored by Red Bull and would often place very high up in cycling races. While Kaitlin and Mo met up as colleagues, they would often see each other at various races. Eventually, in October of the year 2021, Mo and Kaitlin became romantically involved with one another. Now, this was after Mo had broken up with her boyfriend Gunnar, and Kaitlin was also single at the time. Kaitlin had been dating a girl named Kaitlin Armstrong, and they'd been dating for quite some time when they went on a break, and that is when Mo and Kaitlin became romantically involved. Mo and Kaitlyn's relationship did not last for more than a few weeks, and Kaitlin eventually decided to reunite with his ex, Kaitlin Armstrong. Since Mo and Kaitlyn's relationship never turned very serious, they remained friends, especially since they were both interested in cycling, they had the same career, and they would see each other at various events across the country. At the time, Kaitlin was living in Austin with his girlfriend, Kaitlin. Kaitlin enjoyed cycling as well, and she was also a yoga teacher. After Kaitlin and Kaitlin reunited, when Kaitlin and Mo had broken up, their life resumed as normal for the both of them. In December of the year 2021, Kaitlin, who was still dating Kaitlin, purchased 2 firearms and gave one to Kaitlin for protection. In January of the year 2022, Kaitlin told Kaitlin about his brief relationship with Mo during the time that he and Kaitlin were separated. Even though Kaitlin and Kaitlin were broken up during the time Kaitlin was seeing Mo, Kaitlin was very angry with Mo and even told a friend that she wanted to kill Mo for what she had done. Kaitlin knew that Kaitlin was upset with his previous relationship with Mo, but Kaitlin did not tell Kaitlin that he still stayed in touch with Mo, even though they were strictly friends at this point in time. Kaitlin felt as though Kaitlin wouldn't like that, even though nothing was going on, so he just kind of kept that a secret. In May of the year 2022, Mo traveled to Austin to stay with a friend since she was going to participate in a gravel bike event in Higo, Texas called Unbound. Now, Kaitlin had remained, like I said, in contact with Mo and knew she was coming to town and decided that they could hang out as friends and chat about their cycling careers and catch up. On May 11th in the year 2022, Colin picked Mo up via his motorcycle and the two went swimming. After they finished swimming, Colin dropped Mo off at the friend's house in Austin where she was staying, and then Colin texted his girlfriend Kaitlin to let her know that he was on the way home. Now Colin did not tell Kaitlin that he had seen Mo, and instead texted Kaitlin telling her that he had been dropping off flowers to a friend. Colin then asked Kaitlin what she wanted for dinner as he was heading back home. Later that night, on May the 11th, the police received a 911 call. The operator learned that Mo's friend came back to her house and found Mo bleeding and unconscious, and it appeared as though Mo had been shot multiple times. The police came to the house right away and found Mo sadly deceased from several gunshot wounds. The police tried to retrace Mo's last steps, and they found out that she had been hanging out with Colin. The police questioned Colin, and he tells the authorities that he dropped Mo off at her friend's house, and that was the last time he heard or spoke to her. The police then check several cameras in the neighborhood and find that a black Jeep Grand Cherokee appeared to be parked near the house where Mo was staying in Austin, and then moved shortly after Mo arrived home. After this, the Jeep Grand Cherokee drove past the house Mo was staying at around 8:45, which was just after the time Colin had dropped Mo off. Colin was shown the surveillance footage, and he told police that the Jeep seemed to match the same car that his girlfriend Kaitlin drove. The police then searched Colin's home and find the two guns that he had purchased, which were both 9mm guns, seemingly the same type of gun that Mo was shot by. I believe that this happened on the 12th of May, but I cannot confirm. But Kaitlin was apprehended on an outstanding Class B warrant for her arrest. The police believed they could bring her in via the warrant for questioning and hold her on the warrant for her arrest and not let her go until they had some answers that they were looking for. Apparently, Kaitlin had a warrant out for her arrest because she had previously gotten some Botox and had refused to pay for the services and had run away without paying. The police, of course, arrested Kaitlin on the warrant and tried to question her about Mo's murder. However, Kaitlin shut down and said she was unwilling to talk to the police without a lawyer. The police tried to hold Kaitlin for longer. However, they realized that her actual birth date did not match the birth date that was listed on the warrant, and because of this, they legally were not allowed to hold her for any longer. So they had to let Kaitlin go, even though they still had questions as to why her Jeep was possibly outside of the house Mo was staying at. So Kaitlin was let go, and then on May the 14th, an anonymous friend of Kaitlin's let the police know that Kaitlin had been so furious at Mo for her relationship with Colin that she had told several people she wanted to kill Mo. This caused the police to go looking for Kaitlin again. However, Kaitlin had already fled. On May the 14th, Kaitlin was spotted at the airport in Austin around 12:30 p.m., catching a flight to Houston, and from there catching a flight to New York. On May the 17th, the Austin Police Department issued a warrant once again for Kaitlin's arrest. Somehow, the police found out that Kaitlin was spotted being dropped off at an airport in New Jersey. However, there were no flights under Kaitlin's name at the airport, suggesting that Kaitlin either was having help evading the police or she was going by a different name at this point in time. The police continued to investigate and announced to the public that Colin was not involved in any way with the death of Mo, and Colin even issued a public apology for his proximity to the crime. On May the 24th, an interview with Kaitlin's father was released, and he claimed that Kaitlin would never be able to do something like this on her own. Weeks began to pass without any sightings of Kaitlin at all. However, in mid-June, a tip came through of a possible sighting of Kaitlin. A woman who matched Caitlin's description was spotted at a retreat near Livingston Manor in upstate New York, and apparently Kaitlin was spotted in mid-May at this campsite. This retreat is known as Camp Haven and is about 2.5 hours away from LaGuardia Airport. Now, this is a little crazy, and I'm not sure if this is actually Caitlin's sister or if Kaitlin was acting as her sister. But Camp Haven is where Caitlin's younger sister Christine supposedly works. It was said that Christine had moved to New York to volunteer and live at Camp Haven full time. Several locals who live near the camp claim that they never saw Kaitlin or Christine in the area, and that they would have recognized any outsiders at all, since it is such a small town. Several people believe that Kaitlin may be trying to go by her sister's name, Christine, since they look so similar, and since Kaitlin is unable to be found. As of right now, in June of 2022, the police are still searching for Kaitlin Armstrong. They believe that she murdered Mo since she was jealous of Mo's relationship with Colin. I would love to know your thoughts on this case down below. Personally, after seeing, the evidence of the car being outside of the house and what Kaitlin had said to her friend about Mo, I do believe that Kaitlin was most likely involved in the murder of Mo. I can't say that for certain, of course, but the fact that she is running from the police now suggests that she was involved in some way, shape, or form. I truly am hoping that the police can gather more answers on this case and that Kaitlin will be found soon and brought in to be questioned, and that justice will be upheld in this case. My deepest condolences go out to Mo and the Wilson family. She was such a wonderful person from everything that I read about her. I encourage you guys to look into this case on your own and also to reach out to the authorities if you happen to see anyone matching Kaitlin's description. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.